Okay, T8C, operating activities, radio direction finding, radio control, contests, special event stations, basic linking over Internet. Which of the following methods is used to locate sources of noise interference or jamming? Radio direction finding is used to find out where a signal is coming from. Radio direction finding. Okay? And if there's somebody jamming your signals, you might be able to locate them by using radio direction finding. Or if there's noise in your area, you may be able to find the source of the noise by radio direction finding. Which of these items would be useful for a hidden transmitter hunt? Hidden transmitter hunt is one of the fun things that hams do. Somebody will go out and hide a transmitter, and then everybody needs to try to find it. And they have all kinds of tricky things they do. But one of the things that you need for it is a directional antenna, so you know what direction the signal is coming to you from. Directional antenna for a hidden transmitter. What popular operating activity involves contacting as many stations as possible during a specified period of time? That's contesting. And there was a question about contest before we started this evening. And basically what they're doing in a contest is trying to make as many contacts as possible during the period that the contest is open. Which of the following is good procedure when contacting another station in a radio contest? The correct procedure is to send only the minimum information needed for proper identification and the contest exchange. And the rules for the contest will tell you what the contest exchange is. Often it's the signal strength and possibly some other indicator of where you're located, what section you're in, various multiplier kinds of things, and so on. You should, if you're going to be in a contest, you should know what the rules are. If you hear contest operation going on, listen, see what the exchange is, and you'll be able to participate by getting in there and giving that same exchange. This all happens very quickly because, like it says up here, they're going for as many stations as possible during a specified period of time. Okay, what's a grid locator? A grid locator is a letter number designator assigned to a geographic location. And if you want a better description of this, go to wikipedia.org and look up Maidenhead grid. These grids were originally set up at a meeting in Maidenhead, England. They're called Maidenhead grids, and they're the ones we use as grid locators in ham radio. And it's a letter number designator assigned to a geographic location. This is the one that, well, this one and this one, since we have other islands involved in the lesson. Bravo Kilo and Bravo Lima are the grids that the Hawaiian Islands fall into. And so you can see the big grids here. And then those also break down into, so we're going to be dealing with Bravo Kilo, Bravo Lima, okay, out here in the islands. Okay, and then those break down so that if this were Bravo Kilo, we have 100 subgrids. The first subdivision is 100, okay, and then each of those breaks down again into, well, in more than 100. It looks like 25 by 25. So it'd be, what would that be, what's that, 625? Okay, so anyway, my home on the Big Island is Bravo Kilo, 29, November Mike. Okay, so here's 29 right here, where I have the star in there, and November Mike, where I have the star right there. Okay, so in Bravo Kilo, that's where I'm located. Okay, any questions on those? Mm-hmm. And again, you can find a much more thorough discussion of this if you're interested on Wikipedia. For what purpose is a temporary one-by-one format, letter, number, letter, call sign assigned? Those are for operations in conjunction with an activity of special significance to the amateur community. You will not hear them often, but occasionally you will. It'll be a one-by-one like K6 and Kilo 6 November or something like that that has been assigned on a temporary basis by the FCC. What's the maximum power allowed when transmitting telecommand signals to a radio-controlled models? Remember, one of the things we can do is use our transmitters for radio control. The maximum power allowed doing that is 1 watt. 1 watt for radio-controlled models. What's required in the place of on-the-air station identification when sending signals to a radio-controlled model using amateur frequencies? Your radio-controlled transmitter doesn't have any way to send a station identification to identify your transmission. So instead you have a label with your call sign and address affixed to the transmitter. How might you obtain a list of active nodes that use voice over internet protocol? Okay, now this is kind of a out of the blue kind of thing, a major change of topic it looks like. Some repeaters connect to each other using what's called voice over internet protocol, and it's commonly called IRLP, which stands for Internet Radio Linking Project. Quite a few repeaters do that. In a repeater directory, you will find the repeaters, the active nodes, repeaters that serve as nodes for voice over internet protocol, and that will be in the repeater directory. Okay. How do you select a specific IRLP? That here we are again, Internet Radio Linking Project. These are repeaters that are linked to each other using the internet. So I can sit here in Pahoa, Hawaii, and I can link to a repeater in Las Vegas, Nevada, and talk to somebody in Las Vegas, Nevada with my 2-meter handheld radio. Okay, which is kind of a cool thing. But how do I select the node? Each node has a numerical designation, and I use the keypad on my radio, the touch-tone keypad on my microphone or on the front of my handheld, and I transmit the node ID, the numbers for the node ID for the IRLP node that I wish to talk to. Not the one I'm using, but the one that I want to use on the other end. What name is given to an amateur radio station that's used to connect to other amateur stations, to the internet? It's called a gateway. It's a gateway to the